All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to continue on our project that we were working on the other day, where we were building a web spider and mirroring tool. So I've gone through and just kind of off stream in the last couple days, gone through and updated the code so that we're now using a Tokio spawn so that it runs asynchronously, and so we can get a bunch more threads running all at the same time. And so if we go cargo run and nexa.dev, it's going to run super quick, boom, like that, which is awesome. So that's, first of all, that's awesome. Like it's doing exactly what we want it to do. It's running lots faster than it was the last time. We're getting the speed up of all the different cores on my machine, which is beautiful. And so there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. So number one, right now, as it stands, just downloading the content as is effectively faster than wget2, which is the tool that I'm currently using on this other project for the mirroring. But there's other things that wget2 does that we need to implement as far as actually making the downloaded copy available offline. So specifically what that means, and I'll bring up the flowchart that I built the other day. We'll just, I guess, wait for this to show up here. So it's this box right here, this replace all internal links with relative. So what's happening right now is if we go into, so it just finished. It took 53 seconds. And just for comparison, wget2 was taking 1 minute and 17 seconds to do this same process. So what we're going to do is probably going to add a little bit of time to this, but if we do it right, it shouldn't add a lot of time. We should still be faster, which is awesome. So if we go into sites, nexa.dev, and we go to index.html. That is not index.html, index.html. There we go. Okay, so you can see in like the link rel canonical, it has the full path. If the link rel next has the full path. And so what we actually need, and this goes for basically all links anywhere, especially in these link hrefs, but also in like paths to the images. They're all going to be hard, or they might have hard-coded domains. And what we want to do is we basically want to take our, before we save the file, we want to use some regex to find all of these instances where this is the case. So where we see this https://nexa.dev, and we basically just want to nuke it. So if we basically do something like that, that's what we want, because then this link becomes relative to wherever this file is being loaded from. And that means we can store it anywhere. We can have it on a different host. We can have it on a subfolder of an existing page or whatever. So our first task today, and this is, I don't know how difficult this is going to be. It might be super easy. It might be super complicated. I'm not sure. I've only seen the regex package. I haven't actually used it. So I don't know how difficult this is going to be, but we basically just want to find any instances of the passed in base URL, and we want to just basically replace it with nothing. So that's our task for today. So don't need to save that. So what I've done is I've basically extracted the entire processing of each URI, which is basically the fetching and saving to this Tokio spawn. And so if we go to process URI, and so you can see down here, it's basically, it's creating a new vector of URIs to add to the list, because what this is also doing is finding any instances of new URIs that we haven't seen. It's doing the fetch contents, which is what actually goes, uses the request client to go fetch the content of that page. And so basically, if it's empty, then we don't do anything. Otherwise, we take the writer, we write the contents to the file, and then we basically mark it as fetched. And then we start parsing for new URIs in that page. So for example, like if there are any href tags, any source tags, or sorry, any href properties on a tag, any src properties on tags, we basically pull those out if they start with the initially passed in URI. and then we add them to the list. So what I'm thinking about here is right before the right contents here, we want to effectively take the contents and do kind of a byte replace, because these are being passed in or being replaced as bytes. So we'll have to check if the file is HTML. So let's document this here. So we want to say, if the file is not HTML, skip it, or just skip the next step. Otherwise, find any references to the initially passed in URI and strip it out. So e.g. Initial URI equals example.com. So the URI is that. We want to, so we want to say if URI equals, if URI equals that, convert it to dir file.html. So that's basically what we're looking for, is we basically want to find any instances where the URI exists and then just get rid of it, kind of thing. So we're going to say if URI starts with the spider's initial URI. Okay, no. Yeah, file's not. Okay, so we actually need to say in the contents. So let's nuke that and try it again. So if, okay, so, okay, it's not going to help us out here. So we're going to say if contents. Now, I don't know if we can actually do this because I believe this is a bytes, a set of bytes. So I don't think we can do this, but if contains, spider, just a reference to the spider dot initial URI. Let's string contents that. Okay, so we want to say replace. Okay, so let's just look here. Content contains any the initial URI, let content string from U2F8 lossy. Okay, so the content string replace, yep, replace it, the initial URI, that, convert string into bytes, and then print it out. I don't think we really need to print it out. Okay, so expected reference, found string. Okay, so which is it complaining on here? Is there like a, oh, we're probably gonna have to do this. Okay, so if, we just do this. So let content string from lossy contents, let the content string into bytes. So, I mean, technically this should work, because if it doesn't exist, if this your initial URI doesn't exist, then it's not going to do anything, and it's going to put it back into bytes. So, I mean, we can give it a shot. I don't think this is going to work, but let's directory not empty. Why not? Where are we looking at files in there? Okay, so there's no that. So if we say cargo run xa.dev, okay, it did not like that one bit. That's okay. And just to make sure, I just want to comment that out so that if we run it again, this should work fine. So we know, okay, so we know what we did is the cause. So we can say that. So let content string from UTF-8 lossy, content string replace. Okay, so content string contains, let's go like this, contents. Spider dot initial URI. Why is that not working? We're going to put this up here. Unused variable contents. Okay, so that, make this mutable. Okay. Okay, so let the content string like this. If it contains, then we want to replace that. Otherwise, nothing. It should just skip that part. So if we run this now, okay, that's not helpful. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let's go print ln contents, content string. I actually also want to find that. Let's see if it finds any. All right, so it did find the thing. Okay, so contents contain initial string, blah, 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 contents, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Okay, so let's see here. Why is this not? So if we look at fetch contents, what does it give us back? It's a vector of U8. Okay, so this should actually be content string into yeah, because we don't want bytes. We want because we want the U8s, not bytes. So let content bytes equal that, and then replace. Can we just say convert content bytes to a vec U8? Okay, so it is the same thing. It feels weird. Okay, oh, so it does give back a vec of U8s, okay. Okay, so then why is this? Why is that not passing it along? So if we go to, if we rerun this, and does it actually even save the index.html? Why is it still, oh right, because we're doing that. Is that a thing? Okay, so it is getting the index.html, and let's take a, oh, because we're doing it before it can, well, before it can get the links, and so the links are now not going to work. Okay, so that's why. Because we're parsing the links after it's been saved, not the not before. So the links are going to be broken. They're just going to be relative links. So that's me being dumb. So can we, let's do this. I mean, for right now, let's just move that up here. So it's going to parse it first, and then we're going to rip out the links. So theoretically, this should work now. So if we say cargo run, okay, so it doesn't like that. Why doesn't it like that? Feature is not send. Is this value is used to cross and await? Okay, block feature created by async block is not send. Okay, so I don't think. Page cannot be sent safely. Trait is not implemented. Okay, so this is going to be. Let's put that stuff back where it was. Okay, so this is how it was. Okay, so instead, let us take this stuff. Yeah, how are we going to do this? Because I'm going to say content, let's say content relativized. Yeah, so, okay, so let's go like this. And we're going to say that from contents relativized. Why is that not working? That's kind of annoying. Not, oh, content. Okay, and then we're going to say contents relativized. Yep. Value sign is never read. That's fine, because now we can say we're going to write. Okay, because what I'm looking at here is contents relativized. Oh my God. Relativized. So what's in this parsing, we're looking at the contents. We're not looking at the contents relativized. So it's still looking at the original version. We're just cloning it and then doing stuff with it. So we can say this doesn't need to be mutable anymore, right? Okay. So now, does this solve our problem? Let's go RMRF sites and just cool. Okay, actually, so let's cancel that because I don't want to be printing all this stuff here. RMRF sites again. Okay, so while it's spidering, we should be able to say sites, next say dev, index.html. Let's take a look. And if we look here, you can see that now it's just the relative path, which is exactly what we want. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, the link canonical will have to have an exception for, because I think the canonical link is basically what you're telling the search engines to always like kind of use as the base. But like for the 99% use case right now, so if we go like, if we look for, if we look for href, okay, so href, yeah, these are all relative, which is awesome. I'm not seeing any major issues like so if I look here, like it didn't change this one because it did not start with our initial URI, but it did change this one, for example, because it did, which is amazing. Didn't change, or it changed all of these ones, which is beautiful. Like this is awesome. So, okay, so let's take a look. Again, it only took 53 seconds. Like that's the same amount of time that it took the last time. So like I said, like the adding this, whatever we're doing here, should effectively add, like technically we're adding more processing. So there is going to be some amount of slowdown, but like it should be very, very, very minimal. And so, yeah. So how do we want to do this? Because I think now we need to be a little more intelligent about this, because if we're looking, so I'm going back to this, the canonical stuff here. So if we look at right here, so this one very specific type of link with the canonical has to be ignored. So I think what we're probably going to have to do is be a little more intelligent about when we're replacing these, because right now we're just taking a sledgehammer and saying, okay, if we ever see this initial URI, just deal with it, like handle it. But in the canonical sense, like in the canonical case, we specifically don't want to do that. And so I think what we're probably going to have to do here is let's see here. So if we take the entire writer and we put this all under here, if we don't change anything, does this start freaking out for the same reasons? I'm curious. No, because it doesn't like the await stuff. Okay. Because what I was thinking about is, like, we already have an HTML parser, which is already doing some parsing. So we could basically add a check to basically say, like, if the parsed selector is like the link and the type is the property is canonical, then we just like skip it, which is annoying that it won't work like this. Okay, so what does this mean? Await occurs here with HTML may be used later. Okay. Let's put this back where it's broken, and let's see if we can figure out why this isn't working. Okay, so contents is empty, blah, blah, blah. If we do this and we put this up here so that it gets cloned before anything happens, which is fine. Okay, this is going to fail. It's fine. Okay, so await occurs here with HTML may be used later. Okay, so HTML, yep. But then, like, I don't understand why changing the order of operations here is causing issues, because, like, I don't understand what the parsed document, which I think is what it's referring to, because it's talking about, like, has type HTML, which is not send. Okay, fine. Like, and then await occurs here with HTML may be used later. So if I just do dot await, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. If I go here, don't take a reference. Yeah. Okay, so why does it not like that? And why does it definitely not like throw the, or not, maybe not throw an error, but future is not send as this value is used across an await. Like, where are we using it as an await? Like, I would assume that it's, if I was trying to use this writer as part of like the parsing, then okay, yeah, I'd understand what is going on here. But like, these should technically be like two like different things like that are happening. So why would this be? Future is not send as this value is used across an await. Like, if I just, I'm just curious here. Like, if I go like that. Okay, so type HTML, which is not send. Why would this? Well, let us go to our trusty AI tool here. So I have this code. Do we need all this? Probably not. I probably just do. Oh, not that. And I'm getting this error. So let's see. We get is not send, which means cannot be safely passed across thread boundaries. Okay, this is causing an issue when trying to use the writer variable, which is the result of the right contents function call, which is marked as async. Inside the right contents function, so that it's executed in the same async context of the file writing. Write a new async function that handles the HTML parsing and processing and call it from within the process URI function. Process HTML. Okay, so it's basically, yeah, I mean, what it's suggesting here seems to make sense. Like basically just, pardon me, make this whole block here its own async function. Okay, and then, and actually I want to say, I'm going to call this specifically parse HTML. Okay, and then what is it suggesting here? We do that. So what do we say? Let new URIs equal parse HTML from that. Yep. So what is it suggesting here? So let content string blah blah blah. Content's relativized. So this needs to be a wait for sure. And then URIs to add. That's really what this should be. URIs to add. Okay, so yeah, we can get rid of that. This can just be a vec new now, which is fine. Don't really care because we're just iterating over it, and if there's nothing in there, there's nothing to iterate. Okay, so if we say let URIs to add, okay, so we parse this HTML. Like this definitely smells bad. Like I definitely want to refactor after we get this working, but right now I just want to see if this is going to work. Cool, okay. So okay, so that's cool because I just want to run my updates here. So now we should be able to say, oh, that's actually not going to do what I want because the whole point was to give us the HTML parser as part of all of this. Okay, well, I mean, okay. Yeah, I guess we can leave it as is because we're gonna need, I really want it as a function anyways, so whatever. So URIs to add. This is gonna be a vec new. This goes away. Okay, so technically this should all work as is. And so I'm just thinking here. How do we want to do this. I think So this is parsing HTML, and this is really like get URIs to add. Get URIs to add. Yep. Okay, and then we want to, like, the rest of this is to at least this here is to like update the so like this is going to be like let whoa okay, cool. Sorry, for a second there I thought I like undid a whole bunch of stuff that I did not mean to. Okay, so this what this really represents is so this is going to be async function, update links to relative. Get the return type in a second. So this is going to, this is going to return the contents relativized, yes. So this is going to be contents, and this is going to be, yep. And return a back of U8s, yep. This is that. Cannot find value, that's not true. So this is now contents. Mismatch type expected reference at U8. Okay, and then expected struct of U8s and found this. So can we just do end of U8? Is that a thing? Okay, so no. Back of U8s, yes, but I think, oh, okay, so I know what's going on here. So we want to say contents to vac, right? Now this doesn't need to be that. That should all work. Okay. So now we can go to the process URI stuff and we can say let contents relativized equal update. Yes. That can all go away. That doesn't need to be that. We just want to say contents. Can I do clone? No, it needs to be a reference. Okay, so contents clone. Okay. So contents relativized, update links to relative. Okay, so now it's going to write those bytes to a file, which is fine. So I just want to make sure it's still going to work. Okay, we haven't broken anything. Good. And now what we want to do is we want to make this update links to relative a little more intelligent. So again, we're going to, I think we're probably going to have to build That's another HTML parser, and then find any, like skip any instances where, ooh, this is actually going to be kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to comment that out for a second because that works. We know that works. And actually, you know what? Let's go like this. Adding HTML parsing to adding sledgehammer to make all links relative. Okay, fine. So at least we have a a checkpoint where we can revert back to if this doesn't work. So what I'm thinking about is we want to say like let parse equals that, and so what we really want to say is for let's take in our tags because these are all going to be the ones that we've already messed with up here. So I'm just going to get that again. So we're going to take them again. We're going to say a hash map of string. Yeah. So I'm just going to copy this for now. And again, we can always like make this better in a bit. Let's say DTH. Okay, so parsing HTML. If link starts with this, so instead, what we want to do is don't want to push it. We want to say if the place the link with a relative path. Yes. Now, I don't think now I'm curious. Yeah, so okay, so here's what I'm thinking about, and I'm not doing a very good job verbalizing what I'm thinking. So what I'm thinking about is like right now we have this parsed document, right? And so this is like being represented in some kind of like data structure of some sort, and big 10,000 foot view. It's being represented in a data structure, right? So we're taking our tags that we've defined, and I'll explain what those are in a sec. So that's like a tag would be like a tuple of like a and then href, img, src. And so we're finding all of these tags and we're parsing out the instances where those happen. And then what we're saying is, okay, so wherever we find those, if they start with the link or with our initial URI, right now what we're doing is we're just replacing those. However, what I'm not sure about is like, how do we spit back out the parsed, like the updated parsed document as if it was just written as a string? So like, if we want to like, let updated HTML equals like HTML. And again, I don't know what it spits out. So when you get a parsed document, it's giving itself of an HTML. Is that a thing? Root element .html. We say, we just return that because really that's what we want. Let updated HTML equals this, and then content equals updated HTML to bytes. Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think that was going to work either. Is that even a thing? Into bytes. Okay, so that's a thing. And if we return contents, yeah, so selector. So if so, okay, so right here, what I'm thinking about now is like, how do we ignore the link type where the needle is canonical? So if not needle contains canonical, actually, if it contains that, then we just want to continue. Okay, so cannot blah blah blah. Okay, so why? Oh, right, because we're not passing in the tags yet. So let's go up here and send the tags through because we're not changing those. So now, yeah, okay. So if we go back in here, it's obviously not doing what we want because the whole URL path is back. So that is not fixed. Yes. Okay. So the link replace is literally just the string replacing thing. So it's not actually updating like, and I'm going to talk in browser terms for a second. Like it's not updating like a DOM. It's not actually updating what was actually parsed. So we need to, and actually when I'm saying needle, what this should really be is property. So let's undo that, undo that, undo that. Yeah, all of these are basically just property because that's what it really is. The tag and then the property of it. Okay, so now what we need to figure out is like, is there a way with the HTML parse document? So Rust HTML parse document to like, and I can't remember, is this, yeah, the scraper crate. So browser grade parsing and querying. Okay, so it's only going to let us parse. Does it allow us to like update its internal representation of it? HTML. Re-exports. Okay, so this kind of feels like yeah. How are we going to do this? I feel like we're going to have to get kind of into the weeds here and do some regex stuff, which I don't particularly look forward to. How do we want to do this? I was hoping this was going to be easier. how's that saying go? We didn't do this because we thought it. We didn't do this because it was easy. We did it because we thought it would be easy, or something like that. So let's just get rid of that. Put it back to here for now, because this is the at least working one. I mean, it's the sledgehammer. Pardon me. Okay, so let's see here. Do I have the regex crate installed? Cargo add. Okay, so I did add regex here. Okay. So if we go back down here, so what I'm thinking about is like, instead of just being the sledgehammer, let's only be a sledgehammer when we're inside of a tag first. So like, let's just find HTML tags and then be a sledgehammer. And then we can like scope it down again to say, okay, if we find a tag and it's a link tag, be a sledgehammer, or don't be a sledgehammer. Or if it's a link tag that also contains canonical, then don't be a sledgehammer. So let's say like use regex crate to find all HTML tags. Okay. Fine. And again, right now we're going to hard code this. We already have these tags, so we can actually like dynamically generate this, because we're going to be like, if we look up at the top here, so if we say tags, get tags, this is just like a function I wrote just for simplicity. So we have like this href, link, href, script, source, image source, all this stuff, right? So what we want is like and eventually we want like this list to match up with what we're regexing for, because these are all the places we're going to find it. So these are the places that we're only going to want to update it if it ever gets broken. So, but for right now, we'll just like hard code it, and then we'll worry about like the, making it better in a bit. So let's say, okay, so we found all HTML tags. So we want to say iterate through all matches, and unless the tag is link and the property is canonical, place the link with a relative link. Yes. Okay, so let's see what this AI can do for us. So for capture and captures, okay, so let's see how it's obviously already partially broken. Okay, so for cap and captures, iter content string. What do we get? Okay, so that's content string. Yeah, fine. Let tag blah blah blah. If property if tag equals link href source. No, this is definitely seeing like, this is why I have like I don't have a problem with vibe coding as a concept, but it's like it's so not perfect. So whatever, it's fine. We're just gonna go like for capture for tag in re.captures, and we'll do like iter content string. And we're just gonna like do this ourselves. String, yep. Okay, so we're gonna say let tag equal tag get as string. Yeah, see, it's already like making things up here, like tags get unwrap, like that's not a thing. So we're going to get the tag. Actually, you know what? I'm curious. Yeah. Create define all these single tags, iterate through all matches. tag name equal tags split white space. Yeah, that doesn't feel great. Tag is a link and the property is href. Okay, so really, replace any instance of spider.initial URI with this. Okay, so again, I don't think this is going to work. Unused return value, blah, blah, blah. Oh, right, because now it's not applying it to the original. So we need to build up a copy of the tag and then replace the original tag with the updated tag. So let updated tag equal, updated tag equal this. It's gonna let me, oh. Yep. And then what we want to do is we want to say, how do we want to do this? Okay, so let updated tags equal vec new. Yep. So we're going to say, updated tag. So we actually want a hash map. So we're going to say update. Oh, this needs to be mutable. I will never remember that, I swear. Updated tags. Insert tag to string updated tags. And then once we've got all the updated tags, iterate through and replace them in the contents, correct, with the, so we want to say yes. Unused value, blah, blah, blah. Out modifying the original. Ugh. Updated contents equal that, and then updated contents. It's a thing. Binding is available in different. Right. Okay. So we're gonna say nope. Updated contents. Into bytes. Oh my goodness, bytes. Binding declared here, but left expected. Construct string. We'll update contents. to byte as bytes. Oh my God. Updated contents equals that. Oh, Rust, you make me so happy. um, let's get rid of that. You're going to say, pardon me. So we're going to say find instances in contents stir and replace them with the updated tags. Yes. As bytes. Now, I want to say this. I want to preface this by saying I understand why Rust is very strict like this, but it's times like this that I really miss PHP and being able to just like replace stuff in line without having to worry about the memory management side of things. And I get that it's unsafe and all that stuff. I get all that, but it's just like in times like this should be like for what I'm trying to do should be really, really simple. And instead, like, pardon me, thinking about how to do all this is like breaking my brain of how to like take the string that we have of the full contents and just like find and replace instances where we need to do that. Like to me, that shouldn't be that difficult. And I get that means that PHP is doing stuff behind the scenes that is either unsafe or complicated or both. I just don't have the brain power, it feels like, to know where I need to do better. Okay, so okay, so that's right, because we're doing that. What if we don't do that? No method name into bytes found for enum. Copy on write. Okay, so we're taking in content string. Let contents stir equal that. It should be mutable. It is not mutable. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Yeah, it's gonna complain, whatever. Let's go back here. So we want to take the original contents, find any instances where the original tag is present and replace it with the updated tag. I really hate how this, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't like that. So why does it not like that? Must be used. Modifying the original. This returns the replaced string as a new allocation. Hmm. Can go away. Unused return value of replace that must be used. Say like let mute mute contents. Unused variable. Okay, that's fine. Contents. Mute contents equals. Okay, so this I don't understand. Is expected enum copy on rate of, I'm guessing, a lifetime, that string, but it's not getting the string. Sorry, it's not getting a stir, it's getting a string. Like into something? Did that seriously just work? Okay. That is not what I was expecting to happen, but okay, let's see if it's spiders. Okay, so it is spidering. And if we go to the index.dev, it is not updating the links, of course. So let contents equals mute contents into bytes. As bytes, maybe. As bytes. I really gotta contents. And it works. So you can see the canonical stuff here is left alone, but the link, the rel equals next, for example, was updated. Holy crap, I can't believe this actually worked. Yeah, so these links are left alone. So again, this is super brittle right now, because right now it's like if tag and we're just hard coding the rel canonical. So I think what we want to do now is, okay, so let's get rid of that. I want to get rid of that. And these comments are all really annoying and super obvious of what they're doing. So, can we say 2vec here and then just like, okay, so that still works. Okay, fine. Okay, so what I'm thinking about is like at the top here, we have these like, we have this like get tags function, right? So what I want to do is I want to have like a skip list or something of like, so function skip tags. And again, I want it to be basically the same thing of like, no hash map, string. Okay, so yeah, this is exactly what I'm thinking about. So that now we can like, right now it's just this one link canonical, but I imagine that at some point in the future we will want to like add more of things that we, for whatever reason, we need to skip. And so right here, instead of it being like if tag contains blah blah blah, we're going to say let skip tags equals skip tags. Yep. And then like skip tags are in this. If skip tags contains key tag, that feels, no, that definitely is not it. So let's go back to how it was for a second. So actually, I guess the way we were doing it is not great because we weren't checking if it was a link tag. It was only, we were only checking if it was using the, if the property rel contained canonical. So that's a little too open for me because what that means is like, okay, so right now it's saying like rank rel equals canonical, but technically, and I'm just going to make up a tag here. So like if we have like a, and then like ... but if we go like p rel equals canonical, this will also get caught. So what we really want to say is like, just going to comment those out for a minute. So we're going to say like, if so for skip tags and skip tags error, if tag contains skip tags 1 as string, and skip tag and skip tags iter, yeah. So again, I don't know Rust well enough, but I assume that the .1 is like the, like in the hash map, like it's like the, no. So what we really want is we want like the key of this. How do we say? Is that a thing? Key for tuple. Oh, okay, so we're, I guess, yeah. So it's got to be like 1 is like the 0, like in the tuple. I'm guessing it's 0 indexed, and so like 1 is the second thing. So if the tag contains, so basically what we really want to say is like if tag dot contains and skip tag dot 0, right? Dot 0, yeah, okay, exactly. So it's 0 indexed and it's, yeah, as stir skipping tag, yes. So if we rerun this now, Yeah, okay, perfect. So skipping tag, link rel canonical, blah, blah, blah. Right. So if we scroll to the top here, there should be like one for the... Yeah, skipping tag. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now we have like a more like resilient way of doing this. So if we will add more tags later, it'll just skip whatever ones we're looking for. So that's awesome. So now, okay, so we can get rid of this because that was just demo stuff. And what we really want to say is like, are we taking the tags anywhere? We're not. Okay, so let's go like this. Let's move this up here. Let tags equals get tags. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to say, that can go there. I want to build up a string of tags that we want to include in the regex. So let include tags equals tag keys. Yep. Map as string, collect, and then I'm gonna like join. Yep. Pipe. Yep. Now we want to include them here. Okay, I'm just going to comment that out for a minute. And so I want to create regex using include tag string. Yes. Cool. Okay, so again, this will allow us, and yeah, so it's been a while since I've done and forgot that I can use format. So again, we're just trying to take this and make it more dynamic so that if we add more tags later, they'll be included in that. So I just want to make sure. Okay, it's still skipping the canonical tags, which is awesome. In fact, like this will, actually that doesn't matter. So, okay, let's go take a look. So if we go to here and go into the index.html, okay, fine. It's still scraping, so that's good. It's getting the links correctly, so we can get rid of this. So at this point, we are now correctly updating our links to relative links. It's a bit ugly, but it works. Is there anything that we want to fix right now? This might be a short stream. I think I'm starting to get hungry. It's like 10 p.m. here, and I haven't had dinner yet. So I think this might be where we call it. But let's just take a look here. Is there anything else that we want to fix? Regex, new format, unwrap. Yep, that's fine. Actually, just want to like add a comment here where this is. Place the original tags with the updated ones. Yep. Regex include tag string. Yep. Actually, oops. I want to update this to be like, oh my goodness. Get skip tags. All right, so that should be good now. That should still compile. We're not using the full path, so I think I'm just going to get rid of it. I think I was hanging on to it for some reason, but doesn't matter anymore. So now if we run this, there shouldn't be any warnings. Cool. And so I'm just curious if we go cargo build. Oh, how do we do this? Is it release? Yeah. I'm just curious. I want to run it against my site and just see if it includes any speed ups. I don't think it will. Like the stuff that we're doing isn't super, I don't think it can be really optimized much more than what is already happening. So we might squeeze like 1 or 2 seconds out of the performance, but like I'm not expecting some like crazy speed up or anything. Just because like again, we're not doing anything like ultra ultra crazy kind of thing. So if we go, was it target build? No, see target. Is it release? Yes. Okay. So if we go spider, nexa.dev. I wonder if this is gonna let me even do this. Okay. Okay, we'll just stop it because that was my firewall, or like my software firewall not letting it out. Okay, so if we try and run this, and now let us see how long this takes. It doesn't just from watching it, I don't know if this comes through on the video, but like from my very raw eye, like this doesn't feel much faster, but we'll let it run and we'll see how long this takes. So it should for reference, like the build, like the raw debug build, whatever, took about 54 seconds to index my site. So we'll see how long this takes. And then one thing I want to do next stream is allow like a skip list of like just random strings. Oh yeah, so 51 seconds. So it shaved off like 2 seconds, which again is nice. Like savings are always nice, but it's not like world beating, whatever. So to go back to what I was saying, the next thing I want to do is I want to allow for like allowing to pass in like regexes of like your own design that you want to like also skip like on top of like what we're kind of hard coding in. So for example, one of the things that is included in WordPress sites here are these WP-JSON things. Now that's used by the WordPress backend for stuff. And so we don't need those when we're making the site static. So we can basically just skip anything that includes WP-JSON, for example. So we should be able to pass in a regex that just says like, if you see a URL with WP-JSON, skip it. Don't even try and index it and just skip to the next, like just go to the next one. We don't care about it. So for the next stream, I want to implement that so that on the command line, when you're passing in an argument, you can say like, I don't care about WP-JSON and or other things, and we will parse that regex and then do things with it. So that's going to be our goal for next time. But I think tonight we've already made some like awesome progress of like, now we can be a little more intelligent about what we're saving by updating the links to relative, but only in the cases where we actually want to. Like it's not just the sledgehammer approach. We're being a little bit intelligent. It's not perfect. There's still, I'm sure there are much better ways to do this, like by like treating like the HTML pages like a abstract syntax tree, and then like more intelligently looking through the tags and updating them one by one as necessary. But like this is kind of like the handheld, like not quite a sledgehammer. It's like the hand hammer now. We haven't quite gotten to the scalpel, haven't quite gotten to like even the screwdriver method yet, but like we're getting there. And it's starting to be really useful. And again, we're already beating wget2 in terms of performance, because like I said, like this same site on to index it on with wget2 is taking about 1 minute and 34 seconds. So we've already like shaved like 30% of the time off. And that's not to say wget2 is bad. It's just a much more generalized tool. We're building a very, very specialized tool that has some very specific requirements, so we can like focus down on the performance. So I'm not saying our tool is better than wget2 as a tool. It's right now it's better than wget2 in one very, very specific narrow use case. And as we add more things, it'll probably slow down a bit, but my goal is to be better than wget2. And if we add things that make us worse than wget2, we take those things out, or we find ways to like improve the performance in those places. So that's our goal right now. Right now, we're beating them by 33%, which is amazing. That's like, for someone who's written 1 week's worth of Rust, I feel like that's a pretty awesome thing to be able to say. I'm pretty proud of that, actually. But we still got a long ways to go. Like, there's still a lot of things that we need to be able to do. So like the skip list, changing things like the user agent, for example. Like, again, not going to add a ton of performance hit to these, but these are things that I want to add. Allowing like the number of threads to be configurable, because right now it's not, it's just hard coded. All kinds of stuff. Like, there's a bunch of little things that we need to do to be like feature equivalent to the wget2 implementation of mirroring. But right now we're in a good place where technically this would be usable as it is for a number of different use cases. And so probably in the next little bit, once I've like learned a little more Rust, I'll probably like open source this, because it's just a useful tool to have, I think. And you know, I'm proud of it. So it works. I'm sure all the Rust people who are watching this are just screaming and pulling their hair out. But as far as like learning projects go, this has been pretty interesting so far, and we got lots to do. So again, thank you guys for joining. I will be streaming this week. I don't exactly know when yet. I know I said I was going to do it the next day, and then I didn't for like 4 or 5 days kind of thing. So I apologize for that, but I will be back this week to continue working on this and implementing more of this stuff that we just talked about, and we'll have some more fun learning Rust. So again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Later.